Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. What's up, my people? How you doing? How's it going? Episode 32 of the West Bromwich Albion career mode, and we're starting off. We got a FA Cup. I almost said we got a FA Cup fixture against Blackburn. Decent side we've put out there. Players like Zelalem in there getting a start, but also regulars like Munain in the lineup. Munain puts the cross in for the first chance of the game, and it actually comes to Dawson, who's getting his first start of the season, I believe this is. He gets on the end of it. Dom Solanke went up with him to try and get on the end of it, but Dawson was the one that got on the end of the cross, and his header just went wide against Blackburn. Robert Zelalem puts in a beautiful pass to find Berahino, and that's what we want from Zelalem. We called him the next Fabregas when he signed. That's what I've always thought of him. His passing, his vision is all there, and that kind of pass to just slide it in with the outside of the foot, that's exactly what you want to see from the young German, American, Ethiopian, however many nationalities he has. I can't even remember where he's actually from. But he finds Berahino, and Berahino gets what I believe is his first FA Cup goal of the season. I'm not too sure, but he's put us in the lead. That's all that matters. 28 minutes in, and we're coming back on another attack. It's Dom Solanke finding Craig Gardner for a rare chance of this half, and Craig Gardner had to do a lot better than that. I thought we'd be able to put that away with his left foot, but I was just sitting there like, wow, like he's really just done that. Like he should have, I don't know again, but he should have like 4-star weak foot, and to do that from there would, I mean, his finishing's probably not great, but on another attack, Solanke this time finds Zelalem, and for whatever reason, the youngsters decided to go with his left foot when I was trying to set it up on his right foot. He's opened up his body automatically and used his left foot and put that wide in a glorious position. I mean, if I wanted to open up my body and put it in the far post like that, I would have manually opened up the body to put it into the far post. But a chance finally for Blackburn as they shoot straight into the hands of whoever's playing in goal. I can't remember if I actually put Rose in goal for this one. We had another chance fall to Berahino, which was denied by the keeper. This time Blackburn coming forward trying to create a chance, but they can only settle for a shot from range, and it is Rose in goal who settles for it. Van der Meer this time start playing off the bench. I believe he came on in this one. Nice passing move. It goes to Roberts, into Dom Solanke, back to Roberts. The light skin connection right there as Tyler Roberts hits the post, can't get it in. Disappointing finish again. We've created so many chances, but not once been able to find the back of the net since and until now, where Matt Phillips pulls out a screamer from the bag. Matt Phillips doing what he does best. I mean, when the ball falls to Matt Phillips like that, you have to shoot, and if you don't shoot, then you're just being a little bit disrespectful. We tried to get it over to him, took a little deflection off the defender. We probably should have done a little bit better to make sure it can't get out to him. He had tons of space. It's set up for him perfectly, and he struck it so well. Keeper again is, I mean, questionable, just questionable. That is the theme of goalkeeping this year for FIFA. Questionable. If I had to tell you what I thought of keeping this year in one word, questionable. That's it, questionable. But we're back into transfer window stuff. You see the transfer window did open at the end of the last episode. A few things were flying around here. First bit of business we're involved in, Baz Myhill joining Charlton at the end of his contract. His contract is running out, as well as Ben Foster's, which is something I wanted to talk to you guys about. What we should do with Ben Foster, because I feel like just letting his contract run out it's a little bit of a waste, considering we could probably get some money for him. But then we could bring in another keeper next year and just let his time be up. I'm not sure. But then you see right here, 2 deals we have completed. 2 new signings. The first one on the screen right here, Thompson, Lewis Thompson from Norwich. We signed him for under $1 million, only 800,000. We signed the young midfielder for, well, I mean, he's kind of young. He's like 21 years old. Decent overall. I mean, we need a strong squad. We need players, basically. We need players. And for that type of money we signed him for, he's still kind of young. I reckon we could get him up to a decent overall, mid-70s relatively soon, maybe a little bit higher. And also the big signing of the episode, Michael Bradley has decided that at the end of his contract this year, beginning of next season, he will sign for us from Toronto FC. Solid player, solid player. It's another midfielder we're signing over the age of 30 years old. But again, solid player, just like Gorku. I don't really care how old they are. He's a solid player, so we're going to deal with that. Yeah, so it's a free signing as well, so I'm happy with that one. He'll join us at the beginning of next season. And the centre midfield position is getting a lot stronger, especially with the rise to prominence of Van der Meer coming through. A few other players, we have youngsters in the lineup who could do a job. But we have started the match against Arsenal. First one of two really big games. The next one is Manchester City. So we've got some, I told you we've got some big opponents coming up here. We had a brilliant chance as Chadli is denied by Szczesny. Brilliant save from the keeper. I don't know, Chadli's like, how close to the goal, he gets the header off, and Szczesny's reactions are able to stop it. But recently, we had a spell like this last season, especially in games like this. I think it was Arsenal and Man City last season as well, where we really started stepping up against the bigger teams, and we started really creating a lot of chances. We got another one here as Chadli gets into the box. His pass is blocked by Nastasic's hands. It comes back to Chadli inside the box, and Nasser Chadli is able to put it away with his left foot. I mean, it's a little bit fortunate, but it's a little bit fortunate for Arsenal as well, because like I say, Chadli tries to square it into the middle. His pass is kind of blocked off by Nastasic's hand, and it's come back to Chadli, and it's back into the back of the net, and we create another chance with a brilliant through ball by Gardner, I believe it is, and he finds Jonathan Lecco within minutes of scoring the first goal. Lecco has gone down the end right after kickoff, more or less. A beautiful through ball carving Arsenal open. I don't know why they're so open. Like I say, pretty much from kickoff, it's a beautiful ball into Lecco. He's not going to be caught, and his finish, I mean, we've seen some suspect finishing, some questionable finishing from Lecco in the last episode especially, but this time he's able to put it to the back of the net, and you see he scores a second Premier League goal of the season. So he's really been playing a lot better as well, especially we've put Chadli up front recently again, and Lecco's come in, started playing a lot more consistently, which means his performances have stepped up a little bit. But Ben Foster again doing what he's doing, making a lot of saves, which is why I'm unsure. I don't really want to let Ben Foster go while he's making the amount of saves he's making. He's solid in the goal, so I don't see why we should let him go really. But at the same time, I don't really see a point in signing him a new contract, unless maybe it's a year contract. But he is also decreasing his stats pretty quickly. We could still get some decent money for him. I'm thinking around 7 million we could get for him. So I mean, I don't know, maybe we sign him a new contract and then sell him next year. I'm not sure. But Nastasic there missing a chance as well for Arsenal. That was the final chance of the game, and we did leave the Emirates Stadium with 3 points. A huge result, and it's all thanks to Chadli and Lecco. 2 goals within quick succession. Back into transfer news, and another free transfer. A huge one here. Christian Eriksen signs for Barcelona on a free transfer. That is bargain of the century right here. But while we're talking about Ben Foster possibly leaving for free, he is in talks with the Scottish side Celtic, and that's a signing I wouldn't be too against letting happen. Like, I mean, that's a realistic signing, him going to Celtic. I can see that happening in real life. Roma in talks also to sign Berahino. It's like every transfer window, just like real life, every window there's talks about Berahino wanting to leave West Brom. And to be honest, although he scored in this episode, he hasn't been great for me this season. Like, I mean, you guys have seen it. I think he's only got about 4 goals this season. Probably half of them were penalties. He's just not hit the form that he hit towards the second half of last season. But hopefully, I mean, with the second half approaching for this season, maybe he can step it up towards the second half and end the season strong. But we got probably the most difficult match of the season. I mean, Arsenal, we'll probably say Arsenal were the most difficult because we're playing them at the Emirates. Also, Man City didn't have the best season last year, but they are having a brilliant season this year. They've turned it around, but we are the home team for this one. But again, we're starting the game really well, creating chances. Chadli is denied by Rui again. I don't know, I mentioned this a few episodes back, that keepers especially, just where is Joe Hart? Where is Caballero? Where's Bravo? They have so many other keepers, but they decide to play this one, Rui. I don't know what they're doing. A brilliant save again from Ben Foster. How can I let this guy go? I think I'm making my mind up as I'm recording this video. I don't really see... I can't let him go. Can I? Look at that save right there to keep us in the lead. Ben Foster's been doing this since episode 1, to be honest. He's been a hero for us since the beginning. He was your joint player of the season last year. He got 50% of the votes. I don't even know if half of you noticed that, but I did run a poll in the final episode of the season for you guys to vote on your player of the season. He got 50% of the votes alongside Nasser Chadli, so he's your joint player of the season. Surely we can't let him go. Again, he's making another save. playing in Lecco this time, and his shot is denied by the keeper. I'm just realizing that I said that we were in the lead. We ain't in the lead. It's still 0-0. Lecco denied by Rui down the other side now. We're creating a lot of chances. This is a bit of an end-to-end game. It's an open match. Salah this time playing a beautiful pass over to Raheem Sterling. He gets down the right-hand side. He pulls it back. I don't even know who that was, but it's a really good save again by Ben Foster. I don't know how this guy keeps doing it. Mangala finds De Bruyne this time, and again, he's denied by Ben Foster. It's just Ben Foster, Ben Foster, Ben Foster. And now we're on the attack again. Mo Bezic has some space. He finds Chanley, who's going to drop it off to Jakob. He pings it out to Ramadan Sobhi, who makes his way into the box and finishes with a beautiful outside the foot strike, finding the top corner. I don't know. Every time I'm about to say this guy's name, I don't know why, but I just feel myself about to say Raphael. I don't know. Raphael Sobhi just seems right, but his name is Ramadan Sobhi. I don't know. That's just a beautiful finish, though. That's just a beautiful finish. I mean, keeping, again, questionable. But the finish still, you can't take anything away. Even if the keeping wasn't questionable, that might have still ended up in that far corner. Ramadan Sobhi has really started getting in the goals recently. Maybe we should give him a starting position. We have a lot of wingers to think about, but right after we score, Man City come down the other end and they equalise with more. I don't know what it is, but it seems like every time I score, my whole team just falls asleep. Because it's not like every time I score, they come down and they create a chance and they score a goal. Every time I score, they score a questionable goal with some poor defending. And it's always straight after. Look, he's toe poked it in. Completely, basically unmarked. I don't know what's going on. Ilkay Gundogan started scoring in real life recently. He's got a goal against us this time. Mo Bezic gets man of the match, doing that undercover work you guys don't see. Xherdan Shaqiri has handed in a transfer request at Stoke. Back into some training. Van der Meer getting most of the draws. Cooper getting one. Van der Meer, look at that. Nothing but A's from Van der Meer. Nothing but A's. The guy is a stud. He's going to be big for us. He's been getting a lot more game time recently, and you'll see him getting a lot more game time, especially next season. I don't know if I actually showed you guys. Well, I did show you it. I remember showing you it actually, but we didn't put too much emphasis on it. I don't know if you guys noticed, our youth development is to promote one. We have to basically promote a youth player from the youth development system this season and have them play 50% of our games next season. And when I saw that, I basically said to myself, at least, I said, no, I'm not doing that. I can't be bothered. But now that we've signed Van der Meer, I can see him playing 50% of our games next season. So that's a possibility. And especially this season, they promoted our youth development expectation to a high expectation. So it used to be medium, now it's high. So I mean, we might focus on getting Van der Meer a lot more games next season. This is what the table's looking like. However, it's crazy. We're still sitting in 10th place after some good results, but hopefully we can step up within the next few weeks. 7 defeats already this season and 7 draws. We really need to pick up in the second half of the season to get that Europa League spot they want us to get. But it's still not out of sight to even get. There's only 5 points separating 10th and 2nd. So we can make something happen, but make sure you stick around to see that happen. Peace.